Bob is very energetic and sort of always looking to the future.
I think Robert Stern has an almost encyclopedic knowledge of design and the history of design.
There's not a lot of secret unknowns about Dad. He doesn't go home at night and knit sweaters or that sort of thing.
He's very smart, but he's sort of very funny and warm and ingratiating at the same time.
When I say iconic, I don't use the term loosely, but collaborating with Robert Stern to create truly iconic products was an honor.
The first time I met him, he was humble, generous with his time, curious, and obviously extremely knowledgeable.
Working with Bob is fascinating. He's high energy, very creative, sort of a combination of a problem solver and a think outside of the box type of person.
So his buildings are deeply sympathetic to their surroundings, to their cities, and to the streetscapes. And architecture is a sort of special art. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's part of the sort of evolving life of a place. And he's very sympathetic to that, and he's brought some humanity back to architecture.
And Robert Stern is in that group of people who design a building, a complete building. And I think that's what is his signature.
Robert has extended his reach beyond architecture in developing the Robert Stern collection, from furniture to architectural hardware to lighting. It's no longer just enough to be an architect. Now Robert Stern has truly set the bar for what architecture means.
Not only has he designed great buildings and great spaces, but he's also trained an entire generation, or maybe 2 generations, of wonderful architects and designers.
Ultimately, his contribution is as a scholar and for lack of a better word, a cheerleader for architecture in its purest form.
Robert Stern being New York, being iconic, the Empire State Building is truly that iconic structure that represents what Robert Stern is.
My office is a few blocks from that building, as is his, and I look at it every day, and one can't, as any New Yorker visitor or anyone in the city, look at that building and not feel its energy. And I think that's very similar to Dad. You can't be in his presence as a student, teacher, collaborator, friend, associate, and not feel that energy. Another career for Dad. Oh, for sure, high wire aerialist or NFL quarterback, bullfighter, toreador.
I think he knew as a young man that he wanted to be an architect, but his admiration for Fred Astaire is pretty widely known, although I don't think he thinks of himself as a dancer, not in the sense of dancing as Astaire did.
You mean beyond like historian, writer, architect, teacher that he already has? Maybe he'd be like a clockmaker or an antique watch restoration expert or something like that.
I think he needed to be an artist or an actor. He's so creative that I'm sure he could easily, or probably is a fine artist. And he seems to be comfortable enough in his own skin that he could probably be on Broadway or in Hollywood, so one of those 2.
I would say that Bob's legacy would be a combination of architectural historian, an educator, and a practicing architect that built a very prominent firm.
From the point of view of our industry, I want to thank him for his contributions not only to architecture and to education, but also to the stone industry. He's done a tremendous amount for, obviously for the building industry and for the stone industry as well, and using our material in probably the best ways that it can be used.
I certainly congratulate you on this honor. I am in awe of you and your career, and there is no amount of therapy that could ever help, but I love you. Congratulations.